We're relying on Facebook and Twitter more and more every day, but how do we find and see that information properly? We're going to talk to TigerLogic today about how to search it and display it in a new way. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Peter Yared, and I'm an advisor to TigerLogic, which is a NASDAQ-listed company which specializes in data management and search technologies. And last summer, I coded up a social newspaper, which we now call PostPost.com, and I didn't really know what to do with it. It was before Flipboard launched, actually. I did it kind of for myself and my friends, and when I was demoing it to these guys, we were like, it's the perfect use case for searching a bunch of disparate links. So we decided to launch it.
And who are you?
I'm Brian Cheek, Director of Business Development for TigerLogic, particularly focused on our newer technologies and ventures such as PostPost, in charge of finding and establishing partnerships for technology companies, entrepreneurs such as Peter, and utilizing our technology and partnering with them to hopefully bring great, exciting new commercial products.
First of all, what's the deal about your t-shirt?
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry for wearing this. This was my friend's defunct startup, but it was on the top of the t-shirt stack. I'm really not on brand today, unfortunately.
That's good.
You guys should give out more Rackspace t-shirts, you know? It might have been you.
We could have gotten you one. What is this world of, how are you coming at the world of social?
Yeah, it's super interesting. You know, I realized like earlier this year that I was reading more and more social links from Twitter and Facebook than news sites, you know, and I was spending less time in Google Reader and was actually finding kind of that interesting kind of long tail stuff, right? You know, I'm always reading VentureBeat, TechCrunch, and things like that, but there's like really random funny articles like from The Economist or what have you that you ordinarily wouldn't see, but that your friends surface. And even people who are, you know, super deep, like if you have a friend who happens to be a geologist, he's not going to post every little geology article, but he'll post one that's actually interesting, right? And it'll pop up and it's stuff you wouldn't ordinarily see.
Yeah. Tell me how the technology works underneath, because I think that's really interesting. So.
Sure.
What is it doing underneath?
Well, let Peter take the PostPost technology. I can talk more about the search technology. The search technology that we've included in PostPost is our Yolink API. Okay. And what makes it really interesting is that Yolink has the ability to search behind links without any prior knowledge to the structure, kind of almost like search without search. So as more and more of this information is being aggregated into applications such as PostPost, we have the ability to put a search facade on the front of that via keywords. And so regardless of where that information may reside, if it's aggregated onto a page in an application, Yolink provides a search upon those links.
So if you type Apple, what do you see?
You'll see any reference to Apple from inside any of the articles behind those links in paragraph form. So you'll see actual content and context versus what you might see in a normal search engine result, which is a sentence and a half of a link. We actually go inside that link to the actual content and extract data. So we're really good at even multiple terms, relationships, and concepts where we're extracting data from behind those links and bringing them out and surfacing them for the users.
Now the average Facebook or Twitter user probably is following 10, 20 people. If you look into the long tail, the normal person, I'm following 31,000 on Twitter and 17,000 on Facebook. So I'm at the weird level, right?
Yeah.
Who is this built for?
Yeah, it's interesting that you asked that. You know, the number is actually starting to creep up, right? And you know, right now the average is at 75. We expect it's going to hit the Dunbar number eventually, right? 150. And what's happening more and more is people are liking news sources and brands that they like more and more. So it's and you know, a lot of these brands are doing like block promotions now, so you have to like in order to join the sweepstakes or what have you. So that we see that creeping up and up, and you know, the more info you have in your feed, the more you're going to want to search it, right? Like, oh, I remember someone posted this interesting article about such and such, right? And you can search inside those articles and get the results.
Yeah, and for me, I can't watch it anymore. That stream on Twitter is going by. I mean, I can watch it if I was actually looking the stream, but it's going by like about this rate, and it's going by at that rate 24 hours a day. So right now I'm missing that stream going by. Well, we know Apple, Steve Jobs just said he's going on medical leave, and so we need to be able to search what happened while we were gone and get the key information out there.
Correct. And so even on Twitter, if you're looking at a Twitter stream, for instance, right, I think the number might have been said at almost 40 to 60% of tweets actually have a bit.ly URL inside the tweet. So with Yolink, right, you now have the ability to not just search Twitter for relevant tweets based upon a subject matter, but actually have now a technology that can go behind that hidden link and extract content based on your keyword search term in real time, without having all this data, whether it's in a database or indexed or what have you. So Yolink really provides this kind of real-time stream type of search technology.
And that'll catch the links, because a lot of people will tweet something stupid like, cool article, put the bit.ly link in there, and no other information on the tweet. Well, it was just a link to, a funny video or something like that. And there was a lot of information behind the link, not in the tweet. So if you were searching for Apple, there was no mention of Apple there, but there might have been in the article, right?
Correct. We would distinguish between matching that keyword search term that you're looking for to the content inside the URL. So if it's someone's trying to maybe game, a tweet with a URL that's going somewhere that they're just trying to game you to go to, we wouldn't extract any content from behind that link, because we wouldn't find anything with Steve Jobs, medical, what have you, right? We wouldn't expand inside that particular tweet. Because we're not matching any key terms. So we're really going after the ones that are expanding the tweet via the URL for the subject matter that you're actually looking for, and making sure we leave all the other ones out. And same thing with PostPost. When you're searching across all those links, we're only going to find hits, right, on those particular links that are matching your key terms.
Yeah. So the recommendation to people who write tweets, put some hashtags in there and put some information in the tweet.
Put some information,
exactly. This is an article about Steve Jobs' health situation or something like that?
Exactly, yeah.
Got it. PostPost, what is cool about it? When you put in your Facebook, what happens and what are you seeing?
So what's really cool about PostPost is it's essentially one of these really cool one-page, really simple websites. It shows up and you log in with Facebook, and technically it takes an alternative strategy than existing companies such as like a Flipboard or a Paperly, if you will, which have huge servers that go through and grab all your feeds and then aggregate them and then give you your news like a day later, right? What this does...
Flipboard is up to the moment, but Paperly is a little bit later, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, remember when Flipboard first launched, though, the way it just kind of screeched to a halt? It is getting served by their servers, right? In that their servers have to go to your Facebook, grab the stuff, put it together for you, and then serve it to your client. And what's interesting about this is it talks directly from the client to Facebook. There's nothing in the middle of it, right? It's using the platform APIs, and we're looking to do the same thing with Twitter as well, where it'll just go grab everything in real time, format it for you. It's using jQuery Masonry. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's a really cool...
What is that?
jQuery plugin that lays articles out kind of like bricks, if you will, and that's why it's called Masonry. It's really, really nice library. Highly recommend it.
Looks great on a big screen.
Looks beautiful on a big screen, and really that's what the difference here is from like a Flipboard. Flipboard is absolutely beautiful. It's great for when you're on an airplane, but I actually spend most of my time at a computer. And this is kind of the new way of laying out content. MySpace is doing it kind of similarly, and I hate to bring up MySpace because everyone's down on them, but they actually have a pretty good UI overhaul. Huffington Post kind of perfected this kind of look of showing a bunch of pictures and text in a laid out way that drives people to click through. And so we think it's a really nice way to see what's going on right now out there in the news.
Yep. What is it? How is it picking that news? Is it just picking the last 20 minutes of the news? Because I have a big feed, and if you point that at Twitter, it would show just the last couple minutes.
Yeah, you're sort of an edge case because you have so many links and likes in your feed. Most people don't have that much, so we're just showing it in chronological order. We are looking at a feature which we call like velocity, where it will figure out what's getting liked and retweeted the most and surface those up more to the top. But you know, that's more of a need when you have a small form factor. Most people have bigger screens, even on a notebook, right? You're looking at 1280 wide, and it's pretty easy to scroll through and see what's going on, right? There's not that much, you know, even for a feed as yours, such as yours.
Very cool. How are you guys going to make money with this stuff?
Good question.
Yeah.
Well, we believe, as you know, the news has talked about that, you know, Facebook is more than likely going to you know, introduce some type of advertising platform. It's obviously a good fit for that type of content to be embedded into the newspaper. On the search side, right, we can obviously do some advertising on the search results within PostPost. So PostPost in particular, you know, kind of awaiting to see what happens with Facebook and their plan for, you know, an ad model. On the Yolink side, right, it's we license the technology. People are embedding it into websites currently. It's great on Google custom searches. We have a WordPress plugin. We have a Drupal module. So to get this kind of enhanced search experience on existing websites, we're getting, you know, good traction with the Yolink API. So that's a licensing model. Yolink's also available as a browser add-on, free for consumers to download into their browser and take advantage of the situation of, if you're on a website with a lot of embedded links, for instance, we give you the ability to search them with one click and extract this content. The other cool thing with Yolink is we have some built-in third-party integrations on the back side of the search results. So you can one-click take content and push it into a Google document, for instance, or you can send it to a social network like Facebook or Twitter. You can basically do a lot of things with these search results by going through and selecting them and taking advantage of our third-party integrations. And those are all included and accessed via the API.
Got it. Very cool. Where is this going next?
From a TigerLogic perspective, you know, we're always looking for really cool, innovative technologies that we can either, you know, partner and/or invest and partner with that can take advantage of our Yolink technology. Are you looking for more filtering systems like My 6 Cents, or, I mean, Flipboard bought their own Ellerdale project, but DataSift is out there, and who else? There's a couple companies that are starting up to do filtering to try to find the really important stuff out of these social streams to build an even better newspaper. Yeah, companies like that are great partnership potentials for Yolink technology because they are going after, right, and bringing back content as links and building them into applications and displaying them. And oftentimes we kind of think that Yolink is that next step in search, where existing search will get you to a list of links or might get you to an aggregation of content that's displayed by links. Well, Yolink can take you to that next step and actually going behind those links. And even with our API and some you know, customization, you can actually go multiple levels deep. So if you have a link that also has 20 links behind that one, we'll automatically go in behind those 20 and extract content. So it has the ability to go multiple layers. And so these types of companies that are out there, such as PostPost and other aggregators, we believe are really good potential partners for Yolink technology.
Got it. How are you guys funded?
TigerLogic is a publicly traded company, NASDAQ. We've been in the data management business for over 25 or 30 years. We have some technologies on the database side, PIC systems. A PIC technology is a multi-value hierarchical database. We have a rapid application development tool called Omnis, which has a really good European presence. So we utilize that cash flow from our existing core business to fund some of these cool products, like PostPost and some other partnerships that we're working on going forward.
Very cool. And where do we learn more about it?
TigerLogic.com is the home page, obviously, for the corporate entity. For Yolink technology, we have a separate site, which is Yolink.com. And for PostPost, to get your real-time Facebook newspaper, it's postpost.com, and just connect with Facebook.
Very cool. Well, thanks for coming out and showing it to me.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks for your time.